Hey guys, I'm in the shop today, working on a project. For the last couple of days I've been printing a little penny sorter for sorting out copper pennies. As most of you know, copper pennies changed about 1982. They went from mostly copper to mostly zinc, and so I like to save copper pennies. So I just go to the bank, grab me a roll, and been working on this little scale. So the copper ones weigh about 3.5 grams, and the zinc ones, the newer ones, weigh about 2.5, give or take. I think it's like 3.1 and 2.7 or something like that. But anyways, they're pretty close. And so basically this scale, I can put, this is a new one, it's going to roll down into my bucket here, and I'll show you this process. This is probably a heavy, so it's going to go right in this bucket on the right, on your left. So there's a new one. Don't know what that one was. Even though they look old and yucky, sometimes those are the ones that are zinc. So I basically just been sorting through some pennies. I usually pre-sort them so that I don't have to run so many through the machine, or the scale, or whatever we're calling it. I think I'm calling this a Copper Buddy 82 or something like that. I finally got it tweaked enough to where I'm going to put it on my Etsy store, just for giggles. I've never seen a 3D printed version of something like this. In the past, I used to do this years ago. So I used to do this years ago, and I had this little $20 gizmo you get on eBay. Actually, I think I paid $100, don't tell Gina. But it just quit working for me, and when it quit working, it was like inconsistent, so I didn't even trust it. So basically you put a penny in here, it shoots an electronic current through it, decides if it's zinc or copper, kicks the coppers to one side and kicks the zincs to the other, and you have two boxes. And it worked great when the kids were little, about, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago. But haven't pulled it out forever. And with old Trumpy talking about getting rid of the penny, I decided, well, I'm going to get into my pennies again, just for something to do. So we'll go through a couple rolls together and show you how the process is. Thanks for joining. So an added bonus to this is you get a poor man's coin collection. Not only do you get copper, but anything that's a Lincoln cent before 1959 is a wheat penny. And those wheat pennies are kind of fun because you get, I don't know, one out of every $5 in stuff, you get one or two wheat pennies. I've got about 15 or 16. And it's just kind of fun. You haven't seen a wheat penny in a lot of years. I remember when I was a kid, they were there all the time. Boy, if I could go back and write myself a note, not only would I take the sports almanac like Biff, but I would also save my silver, because man, I had a lot of silver run through my little hands as a little kid, and I always thought to myself, you know, I should probably just set those aside. I wish I would have done that more. So, lesson learned. It's not on as big a scale as silver, but copper is still a commodity. That one's got a bunch of dings and dents in it. Testing our system here. It's still a commodity, so it has intrinsic value, unlike this zinc. Zinc's got some value, but not near what copper will. Copper obviously is used in lots of things, electronics, wartime. Back in 1943, copper was in demand so much that they actually came out with some steel pennies so that they could use the copper for the war effort overseas. So anyhow, I'll just go through a couple rolls here with you and kind of show you the contraption. It's kind of a different video, but thanks for joining. Okay, so the first thing I do is just kind of spread these babies out. Get rid of the copper from the last 50-cent roll. Spread these babies out. Most of these don't have the newer style with the shield. I can't remember when they came out with those. Not that I can't remember, I don't even know, because I haven't really paid attention to pennies forever. So basically we're just going to run all these, but these ones here, I used to see the dates on them. It's pretty tough. So the shiny ones, you can kind of tell by the way they sound. They just don't sound real. That's an 81 right there, so check this out. Boom. Passes our test. So these ones that are pretty dark like that, you can just feel the weight difference. And sure enough, it's copper. That one, the 1991, so that's going to roll on by. Just walk on by, wait on the corner. Okay. Anyhow, we get rid of those. So we'll just run these through and see what we see. Setup. Show you the setup we got here. Just the pennies down here that fall out of the deal. I just put that bad boy in there. Boom. Have a coin cup here for my copper ones. This is copper there. And we just kind of throw them in. That's a good sound. You can just tell the difference on a copper penny. Just the sound of it. It sounds like basically the difference with silver coinage versus the zinc garbage that they have in quarters and dollars and half dollars and dimes. Nickels are tough because you can't really tell on nickels. I think you can do it by weight, and also they have magnet type things that'll do it. This is just a simple scale, just on a pivot point here, and I've just got it balanced just right. 3D printed that, which I'm super excited about. What can I tell you about this? Oh, they do make these. The guys are taking aluminum angle iron. I'm going to build one. You stack a couple pieces of aluminum angle iron to where it's just the width of a penny in between them, and then they put magnets on both sides of it to slow the copper pennies down. I guess when the copper goes through a magnetic field, it kind of has an electric reaction, and so it slows it down, and they'll have a box that's closer to the drop point and then one that's farther away because the zinc ones roll right on by. These are a really good set of rolls. I traded a kid a 3D printer, and it had him pay me in pennies, and he could only come up with $50 of pennies without the banker girls getting mad at him. But they have been really good rolls. So these are the kind I like, that have the shielded coins in them, because usually the shielded coins take up about half the roll, and they're easy to pick out. You spread things out. And I just get rid of the shielded ones because you know they're no good. Fiat junk currency. So that usually makes it to where half your work's taken care of, just in getting rid of these little shields. Anything that looks shiny, just flip it over and see what you see. But like I said, a lot of the times the dirtiest pennies are the zinc ones. For some reason they have weird reactions with things they meet when they go through society, and they get nasty. Copper's usually nice and kind of just a tarnished look, kind of a patina. So anyways, you can see which ones are the copper there. Most likely, just they've got a little dull finish, and they just feel different. Definitely copper. Not sure about that one. We'll just run them. I'd say that's copper. Just the weight of it, you can just feel the weight. There's definitely a difference. Sometimes in these you'll get some old pennies that are been bottled up for a while, and so they're still having good shine to them, and they just even look better to me than the new ones. That one was thinking about it. So some dates I've noticed are a little bit different. Like 1996 for some reason had a little more weight to it, and so sometimes it's a little bit hard to decide on those. In 1982 was when they switched over to the zinc alloys, and that year they have some that are more the 95% copper recipe, and then they've mixed about 7 or 8 different recipes that year. And I probably still do own one of every recipe, but 82s are different. They're not a guarantee for copper. You got to run them through the machine. And you can also, with pennies, give them a little drop test. That sounds pretty good. That definitely sounds good. These might all be zinc. Yeah, because they didn't sound right. Oh, that was copper. So yeah, the sound test was a big fail there. But sometimes you can tell. You drop them on a countertop, they just sound different. Okay, so that roll, we got 7 pennies, so that's 14% return. And no wheats on this, doesn't look like. Flip them over to see if they're wheats. I'll show you these wheat pennies we got. Like I say, anything pre-59 is wheat. They're kind of fun to find. And you can they just sound different when they turn over. Yeah, the wheat pennies. Add to the collection. So here we are, printing one of these bad boys. Calling it a copper penny sorter. I think I'll put them on there for, I don't know, what do you think? $17? That sound fair? I think I'd pay that. So we'll go $17, and there's always coupons you can get too. So, but we're just printing lots of stuff here. Right now I'm printing some ammo boxes on these ones. Just started another one for some 308s. They kind of work out pretty cool. Basically have holes in there for all your ammo, and a slide-on lid. If I can do this one-handed, the whole YouTube problems we have. And this one here is a 22 shell holder. It holds 25, 22 shells, long rifle, and it's on the Gridfinity system, which is a modular system that 3D printing communities come up with, to where they'll sit and stack, and you basically build a big plate system where these live in. I'll show you that before the end. Okay, so this is that Gridfinity system I told you about. You just print these little base plates here, and then they just plug in wherever you want. You can print all sorts of different size deals, and they're just a modular system. I've got some here for this box here. I haven't really done much with it yet, but this is actually a AA battery and AAA battery organizer. They've got little male fittings on the bottom there, and boom. Let's see, so I've got the grids in that bottom of that. But this toolbox I decided is a little bit small for putting too much in, but it's kind of fun. Anyhow, I just have that living there, and life is good. Those boxes, what they look like, they just 5x5, 25. Just slide that on. It's got the Gridfinity system there, so you can stack them. These are not Gridfinity, but I really like the quality of these. They just hold your shells nice. These shells were just sitting in buckets doing me nothing, and now they actually might have a little value to them that they're organized. So it's a good trick to try to organize your life. I think we're going to take those to the Coinstar and trade them in, and take Piper to the bank and get a sucker and get some more pennies. We'll catch you on the next one. That's about $50 of rolls that we sorted there. So there's probably $20 in copper there, which, if you look at the prices, the pennies are about 3 cents each, so you've tripled your money on them. Not that you can do much with them, you can't melt them down, but they do have value on eBay. You can almost double your money. It looks to me like if you sell them, you can get about 70% return. So that's not bad, and it keeps me from spending money on junk, which I am prone to do. Probably one of those things that kids will take to the bank after I die and think they just had a crazy dad. But I guess I'll be doing my job if that's what happens. So I just went down to the bank, and they're telling me that they can't give me pennies anymore unless I'm a retail customer. So that's pretty crazy. I guess they have almost officially stopped doing pennies. That shows you what a weak economy we have compared to the old days. This fiat currency that isn't backed by gold is a friggin' joke. We'll be trading in our gold for wheat in wheelbarrows before too long. Anyhow, thanks for joining me, and I think I'll get those listed and see what happens. Kind of a day late and a penny short.